All right, guys, welcome, and let's get started on this 10-minute dynamic stretch routine. We're going to start by warming up our bodies with some deep squats, pushing with our heels as we come up, squeezing our glutes and thrusting our hips forward, engaging the core as we come up. Breathe through the exercise and feel that deep stretch in the groin area as well as through the knees and quads. Our second exercise is one of my favorite. This is going to elongate our spine as well as loosen our hips. Make sure we keep our hips squared against the ground. We're going to bend our spine, bringing our knee towards the chest as close as possible, and then lifting and contracting that stubborn little muscle right above our butt, the gluteus medius, which is so hard to activate. And make sure that that muscle gets awakened and takes over some of that function and helps loosen those hips and that lower back area. If you suffer from sciatica or lower back pain, this is a exercise that you want to spend a little extra time in. And in between exercises, find a support system. It can be a door or a tree in this case. And we're going to transition into our hinge squats. Again, keeping that neck loose and a long spine, breathing through the exercise, breathing through the diaphragm. That's when most of the stretching actually occurs. And we're going again 15 to 20 reps. Getting nice and deep as we get into that lower deep squat. We're going to round our back. We can throw some rotation in there, tucking our head under our arms. It's going to allow for that increased range of motion. Move around, shake your body off a little bit, have fun doing it. And then we're going to transition to one of my favorite ones, again, continuing with the loosening of the hips and lower back, which is the squatting hip rotations. Get in a deep squat position, hands in front of you, and open up those hips, pushing against the other side. You can also use your arm to help you get that further stretch if you need it. However, be careful with that. We're still warming up our body, so through repetition, our body is going to gradually loosen and allow for our mobility to increase naturally. From here, we're going to transition into a tabletop hip rotation. Again, pushing in opposite directions, both knees, even though only one of my legs is rotating. We're actually pushing through the inside of our hips and going for that wide opening stretch of our hips while elongating our spine by shifting our weight to come through our shoulders in a diagonal, opposite leg, opposite arm, stretching diagonally through our spine, drawing like as a diagonal line, if you will. This is a great exercise for our quads, our toe flexion exercises, as well as our hips, rotator cuff, and also those knee ligaments, those problem areas that we abuse so much through repetitive use of running, biking. Again, 15 to 20 reps on each side. In between reps, we're going to assume that 8 position, and we're going to transition into our toe flexions. We're going to go for rotation around our center of gravity, pivoting our body weight and shifting our body weight from our heels to our toes with our knees touching down. We're going to transition next into a squat rotation, I guess increasing that side-to-side mobility, and hold it there for a second. Make sure you breathe through this exercise as you do it. And that's the end of the squat clinic. Now we're going to transition more into the dynamic stretches, and this is my staple, my go-to stretch, which is the bear walk. And if it's your first time doing the bear walk, you can find all the tutorials of each primal move on the playlist on our YouTube channel, Bluzo Bodies. You can hit subscribe, and you can rewatch them, pause the video to make sure you get the correct technique through each exercise. The second one is equally important, is the beast walk. We're going to lock our elbows, tighten our core, and we're going to move in a very controlled and slow manner, forwards and backwards, alternating and making sure that our opposite hand and foot are working together. If it's your first couple times doing it, you may want to practice for your brain to reconfigure the left side and the right side of the brain working together, as well as the upper body and lower body, coordinating the moves effectively. Our next exercise is the ape shuffle. Again, this is a great total body workout, and it's going to incorporate our shoulders, our upper body, our chest, our core, as well as our hip and knee working through the different ranges of motion. Our next exercise is the ape stiff leg shuffle. And basically we're going to do the exact same thing, but keeping our legs straight for this exercise. Again, we're trying to increase mobility and loosen that back, creating space in between our spine. Our next exercise here is the crab walk. Again, we're always focused on that diagonal balance, opposite hand and foot working together. Imagine that line drawn diagonally from your foot all the way to your shoulder, and stretching that the entire body, the entire spine through the exercise.